Suffice me to say there is fire on the mountain for anybody who cares to know. It's quite unfortunate the renewed incessant attacks and coordinated ethnic cleansing going on within the eastern region. This has remained unabated ever since about 10 years ago. It has worsened the situation where Igbo youths are being forcibly disappeared, where the instruments of the state are being accused of masterminding such disappearances. As Amnesty International have raised concerns and accused the Nigerian government, of course, on implications of masterminding and orchestrating the abuse and torture and forceful disappearances of the indigenous people. Little do we know that we have not seen an end to these escalations, incessant killings. Reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to call for the Eastern Security Network, for the locals, indigenous people, to rise and defend their forests. He made it clear that the reason why the Eastern Security Network was established or formed was to protect the people in the forests, so that our farmers, our mothers, our fathers could go to farm without fear of being raped, killed, or assaulted. But that is quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate in the sense that those who fought against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today have failed to protect the people. They say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is creating a parallel security outfit, blah, 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 and the rest of them. But today they have failed to protect the people they took an oath of allegiance to protect under the law, which is the primary responsibility of any responsible government, to protect the people. You have failed woefully, repeatedly, to protect the indigenous people. Unfortunately, aliens coming to kill your own indigenes in their various communities, in the various farmlands, and yet the government could do nothing about it. On several occasions, when the people protest, they have been arrested or threatened or in any disguise. It's quite unfortunate. Now, the reality is dawned on a Sunday that the government could no longer protect the people. This informed the reason why the DSS Director General has called on Nigerians, haven't understood what is playing out, that it has gone beyond what could be curtailed by the security forces. This informed the reason why he said, protect yourself, mobilize yourself, and protect yourselves against the terrorists. You must have information, of course, which is not privy to the public. Now, this is what Aloy Ejimako, the lead counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have to say in the face of these current realities. He has called on Ndibo. He said, Ndibo, how long can we continue like this? Ndibo, how long can we continue like this? How long can we continue watching our women being raped, kids molested in the most gruesome nature and manner that is being forbidden, is considered as abomination and impunity for the Igbo women and daughter to be desecrated within the Igbo soil, Igbo land? All Aru is an impunity. But today that is happening. With brazen impunity, people are not asking. The governments are indifferent about whatever is happening. They give reasons based on political or farmer headers clash. How long will this continue is a question thrown to the Igbos. And I don't think majority of them are ready to answer this question. Some are still living in self-denial and delusion. Very unfortunate. The politicians are there canvassing and seeking for political appointment and opportunity that will enable them enrich themselves, even at the expense of the masses. Nobody, except for just very minute number of them, who are concerned about the plight of the people. It is quite unfortunate, very disturbing development. The question remains, Ndibo, how long can we continue like this? How long can we continue like this? Ndibo, how long can we continue like this? It is the question. An urgent answer is demanding. An urgent answer is necessary, of course, to remedy the situation. How long? How long? Grow olembe. Will you wake up from your slumber? How long will you understand that this is nothing but ethnic cleansing, directly or indirectly going on, be being financed by some vested interests who, of course, have an interest in the Igbo land, in the resources of the land, to continue the exploitation. Of course, this wouldn't be possible without international conspiracies and the rest of them. It's quite unfortunate. But then the people must rise and to take their own destiny in their hands. Otherwise, it will be said of a people, you once existed in this region of the world and you are no more. That would be a sad reality facing the survivors or remnants. But whether you are abroad, in diaspora, you may not have a place to call your home. So what are you doing with this clarion call to protect your people? A few days ago in Imo State, it was a girl of kidnapping and murders by these same people, Oftentimes when they unleash these mayhem, deadly assaults, nefarious activities, they want to shift the blame to the indigenous people of Biafra in a way of covering their shady dealings. But not until recent, even the governor of Imo State have said the insecurity in Imo State are being fueled by some political gladiators whose interest is to distort or create unrest within the region for political reasons or interests. These are not IPOBs, but those words fell on deaf ears. People still accuse wrongly the people of the indigenous people who are being killed today, massacred, and their own ancestral home. They are running away from their indigenous ancestral homes. Alibo. Umibo are now n'ala in their own land, in their own farmlands. They are being killed and wasted like animals. It is quite unfortunate. He went on to say, barely 2 weeks ago, terrorist herdsmen ravaged Imo State and left a trail of blood and anger. Days ago, they struck Enugu, and today they returned to Imo State. This is a coordinated ethnic cleansing that Igbo must convene together to stop. All forests in Igbo land must be combed. All forests in Igbo land must be combed. Something serious, terrible, arrow. Unfortunately, it appears that the Igbos are under spell. They don't understand. They are not moved until virtually it is too late. Well, if you're an Igbo man watching me now, let me have your own take about this development. This is not the first time it is happening. We've seen repeatedly in most recent days, of course, incessant attacks on the indigenous people. Incessant attack, coordinated attack on communities. You can imagine Igbo people fleeing from their own ancestral homes. Igbo people, women and men, shedding tears that they are being sacked from their communities. And when they report to the government of Enugu State, little or nothing is being done. In one of the occasions, the military was mobilized. They promised the communities, go to sleep, nothing is happening, we are here. The moment the people retired to their homes, thinking that all is well, eventually they met their Waterloo, they met their dead, and the militaries are nowhere to be found. The people who came and massacred the entire communities, sacked several communities, and that is unfortunate. As well as those militaries who told them go to sleep, nothing is happening. Begin to insinuate, could it be possible that the security operatives are in connivance? Of course, with these terrorists. How could the security operatives, the soldiers, assure the indigenous people that all is well, they are in control? Eventually, the people were killed. Of course, nobody should be held responsible because it is all for free fight. If you don't let the devil takes you, whatever happens to you, nobody cares or bothers about that. It is time for an average Igbo people to begin to think about their homes, how to preserve their home. This question must not be swept under the carpet. Igbo, Ndi Igbo, how long shall this continue? Shall this cycle, vicious cycle, compelled by deep hatred and disregard for the fundamental rights and the rights to existence of the Igbo people? You have to ask this question and, of course, provide an answer to that by actions. What actions speaks louder than voice? You have to rise. The DSS boss have made his submissions. Rise and protect yourself, communities. Mobilize yourself and defend yourself. The Igbos are still snoring, waiting for the impossible to happen, waiting for them to be moved or recognized as a tier. Awana Baroha, Odogu na Cambodia, Odogu na Japan, Odogu na Chile. And you watch your people being killed and you're celebrating Odogu. That is quite unfortunate. Well, let's have your own take regarding this development, but you must take this message down deep and reflect over them. There's no other better time to act, to save lives, to save the posterity of the Igbo race from being extinct than now. Thanks for watching once again. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification button. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you. If you've been a returning subscriber, you're good to go. We do appreciate once again. Let's have your own reactions and contributions. What you think, of course, could have led to these points. Unfortunately, ignorantly or out of jealousy, the majority of the Igbos fought against the Eastern Security Network, possibly to protect their political interests or to please their political masters. It's quite unfortunate, but the reality is now dawned on honest surgery. Let's have your own take on what you think is the way forward. Bye for now.